Sawadee.
Hello.
Today we will talk about the cultural differences between Thailand and UK. My name is Phương Yan.
My name is Lê Thủy.
My name is Tham.
My name is Yu.
We are Group 7.
Welcome to the Macat Multimedia Series, a Macat analysis of Geert Hofstede's Cultures, Consequences. How should we think about a national culture? Geert Hofstede is a Dutch social psychologist and former employee at IBM. He wrote Cultures, Consequences in 1980, in which he set out a new classification system for national cultures. Hofstede argued that there are 5 main cultural dimensions which determine the way different societies work. Hofstede's first dimension is power distance. It looks at how inequalities in power are accepted by the less powerful members of society. His second dimension is uncertainty avoidance. It indicates a society's tolerance for unstructured situations. Hofstede's third dimension looked at whether a society is collectivist, with strong social bonds, or individualistic. The fourth dimension was whether a society is masculine or feminine. To Hofstede, a masculine society aims for achievements and material rewards, while a feminine society has a preference for cooperation, consensus, and caring for the weak. Hofstede's fifth and final dimension looks at whether a society is long or short-term oriented, or how much importance it places on planning for the future. To explore Hofstede's categorization further, let's analyze a multinational manufacturer with factories in 2 very different countries. Country A is a high power distance culture. The workers in its factory accept authority as part of life and are more likely to accept low pay. Country B has a low power distance culture, and factory employees are more prepared to challenge their bosses. Country A also has a high uncertainty avoidance culture. Factory employees consequently feel very uncomfortable if there is ambiguity in their instructions and job roles. Alternatively, Country B is low level on this measure, and workers don't mind being flexible. Next, Country A is highly collectivist. Consequently, factory staff work very well in a team and can rely upon each other. Country B is far more individualistic, and so workers tend to aim for their own personal gain. Further, Country A happens to have a very masculine culture. Workers are far more achievement-driven and will be motivated highly by bonuses. Country B's culture is much more feminine, and so workers favor a better work-life balance with adequate holidays. Finally, employees in Country A's factory are long-term oriented. They are less inclined to leave the company as they value remaining in constant employment. Country B, however, has a short-term culture. Employees are consequently likely to leave for a better opportunity. Looking at these different factory environments with Hofstede's categorization system allows us to see how the same factory setup could produce very different results. To Hofstede, differing mental programming between cultures creates vastly different outcomes. A more detailed examination can be found in the Macat analysis.
Well, in order to have a better grasp of the cultural differences between Thailand and the United Kingdom, we will look at just Hofstede's cultural dimensions. As you can see in this chart, there are many differences in the cultural dimensions. However, we will only talk about the 3 most significant aspects. Those are power distance, individualism, and masculinity.
First, we will talk about power distance index. Power distance refers to the way in which power is distributed in the extent to which the less powerful accept that power is distributed unequally. About Thailand, Thailand is an eastern nation. Its Eastern nations usually have higher power distance index than Western nations. And as you can see, Thailand scored 64 on the distance index, more than that of the UK. It means that inequalities are accepted in Thai society. A strict chain of command and protocol are observed. Employees have to show their loyalty and respect toward their superiors. Therefore, the relationship between the staff and managers is fairly formal. In Thai society, family is considered one of the most significant foundation. They have close and united relationship with other family members. Thai people respect and obey their parents because parents are considered to be in superior position. When Thai first meet stranger, they will immediately try to determine their status. The status is often determined by general appearance, job, education level, social status, and most obviously family name.
So what about Britain? At 35, Britain sits in a lower ranking of PDI. It means that they believe inequalities among people should be minimized. Interestingly, research shows that power distance index is lower among the higher class in Britain than among the working classes. The PDI score at first seemed contradictory to the well-established and historical British class system. It exposed one of the inherent tensions in British cultures between the importance of birth ranks and a deep belief that where you are born should not limit how far you can travel in life. A sense of fair play drives a belief that people should be treated in some way as equal.
The best way to illustrate this point is to look at the royal family. Even though both nations still have the king or the queen, the attitude toward the king or queen is totally different. In Thailand, people do not only respect the king, but they are loyal to him and obey him as he's the ruling head of the state. On the contrary, the Queen of England is respected as a symbol to their long and successful monarchy. Therefore, the power distance between Thai people and the king is way greater than that of Queen Elizabeth and her people.
6 ฉบับค่ะทั้งหมด6 ฉบับซื้อไปเก็บไว้ค่ะ เพราะไม่มีอีกแล้วค่ะ
สวรรคตนะครับส่งให้พวกเราเสียใจมาก เราก็จะมีการไว้ทุกข์1 ปี ซึ่งทำให้ประชาชนทุกคนเศร้า แล้วก็ไม่มีอะไรที่จะพูดถึงท่าน เพราะว่าท่านเป็นทำเพื่อลูกหลานชาวไทยทุกคนครับ
When Thai students meet a professor, they have to give a low bow.
Second, we will talk about individualism. The fundamental issue addressed by this dimension is the degree of interdependence a society maintains among its members. It has to do with whether people's self-image is defined in terms of I or we.
There are two kinds of society, individualist and collectivist societies. In individualist society, people are supposed to look after themselves and their direct family only. In collectivist society, people belong in groups that take care of them in exchange for loyalty.
With a score of 20, Thailand is a highly collectivist country. Loyalty to the in-group in a collectivist culture is paramount and override most other social rules and regulations. They foster strong relationship where everyone takes responsibility for fellow members of their group. Thai love to stay in group, do activities with others instead of doing on their own. Whenever Thai make decisions, their final decision would come from many factors, mostly from the outer sources, not just only their own ideas and judgment. Most of the time, Thai people often follow the crowd and the ongoing trends.
At a score of 89, the UK is among the highest of the individualist score, beaten only by some of the Commonwealth countries such as Australia and the USA. The British are highly individualist and quiet people. Children are taught from their early age to think for themselves and to find out what is their unique purpose in life. The road to happiness is for personal fulfillment.
As a collectivist society with high power distance, Thai people tend to follow the leader without discussing the topic. On the contrary, British people love to debate the topic in order to find the best solution. The team leader needs to listen to other members' opinions and appreciate their individual's contribution. Now we will talk about masculinity in Thailand and UK.
Yeah, as to the UK, a high score only dimension indicates that the society will be driven by competition, achievement, and success, with success being defined by the winner or the best in field. That is a value system that starts in school and continues throughout organizational life. And the low score only dimension means that the dominant values in society are caring for others and quality of life. A family society is one where quality of life is the sign of success, and standing out from the crowd is not admirable.
In summary, the fundamental issues here is what motivates people. Is it wanting to be the best, masculine, or caring for people, feminine? And now we'll talk about Thailand. As you know, Thailand scored 34 in this dimension, and the average of Asian country is 53, 3 more than the average world average of 50. So we can say that in general, Asian countries have the tendency to be more masculine. But with a score of 34, Thailand is the lowest rank among all Asian countries. And this low level of masculinity is indicative of a society that less value on assertiveness and competitiveness compared to other Asian countries where the value is very significant. And Thai people are very considerate and polite because they want to keep a very good relationship with other people. They are also very hospitable. You can see they smile with each other on the street, even with strangers. They are also because they are also don't like to face conflict, don't be don't want to be offensive, so they are very respectful to each other. And this value is a product of their Buddha teachings about life, death, kindness, and karma.
On the other hand, in the UK, with the score of 66, the Britain is masculine society. That means it has highly success, oriented, and driven. And the foreigner may be confused by the apparent contradiction between the British culture of modesty and understatement, which is at odds with the underlying success-driven value system in the culture. Moreover, the principle to understanding the British is being able to read between the lines. That what is said is not only what is meant. In comparison to feminine cultures such as the Scandinavian countries, people in the UK live in order to work and have a clear performance ambition.
So apparently British people are hard to understand. This is news to me, but I feel as a senior citizen, that means old person. I feel as a member of the British society, a member of the British population, a person who's British, that it is my duty to once and for all explain to the rest of the world how to understand a British person. So that is what I'm going to be doing, if you hadn't already guessed that by the title of this video. First things first, I'm the realist. If you ever get the amazing opportunity to sit round the dinner table and have a roast dinner with a British person, I can guarantee they will ask for the last potato. When a British person says, "Do you want that last potato?" they're being polite. They definitely want the last potato. If you take that last potato, you are not going to be in their good books, my friend. When we say, "Oh, let's meet up for dinner sometime," we actually mean we're not going to meet up for dinner. I'm quite sure of that. Let's just go our separate ways and be done with it. If you ever find yourself around the house of a British person, they'll probably say to you, "Make yourself at home." Do not make yourself at home. Do not go scooting through the cupboards. Basically, do not leave the seat that you're sat on, because that's not going to go down well either. Not to worry. That means, "I am bitterly disappointed. It's entirely your fault. You should worry, and I am not going to forget that." Perfect. That does not mean perfect. That means the complete opposite to perfect. That means that everything is ruined and that person is very, very disappointed. So you should probably step away at that point. And that's certainly one way of looking at it. That is definitely the wrong way of looking at it. That is what they meant to say. If your British companion says, "Oh, I'm just popping out for lunch, do you want anything?" that actually means, "I'm going out to get my lunch now. Don't say anything, just be quiet, I'm not going to buy you lunch for you, do not be that rude." If you are a polite British person, you will go out and buy your lunch yourself. So, stum. You might find yourself in a situation where the British person says, "I'm sure it'll be fine." They are in denial. At this point you should panic, because that situation is clearly not going to be fine. If you find yourself in this next situation, you've done something wrong. No, honestly, it's my fault. It's your fault. You and I both know it is 100%, most certainly, definitely your fault. When we say, "Honestly, it doesn't matter," you know what's coming. It matters, it clearly matters. I think anyone can see that at that point, if that sentence needs to be said, the situation matters. In fact, nothing has ever mattered more. And finally, the last thing that you need to know is when a British person says to you, "Sorry, I think you might have dropped something." You have most definitely dropped that certain item. Why don't we just say, "You've dropped that"? Why do we have to beat around the bush? "Sorry, I think you might have dropped that." Obviously they've dropped that. Just tell them straight, they're not going to be offended, they're not going to be embarrassed, all they've done is drop something, haven't they? "Sorry, I think you might have dropped that." Yes, they have dropped that. So, you may thank me now. You now know how to understand a British person. I feel like I spoke very, very fast in this video, but that's because I am British. Apparently British people speak fast too. I was unaware of this. We speak very, very fast. So fast that most people cannot catch up with us. so fast.
So you can see that the way British people talk may be very confusing. They tend to be more polite and less straightforward. However, the reason behind this is not collectivism or femininity like in Thailand or other Asian countries. It is due to British low uncertainty avoidance compared to other Western countries. Despite their way of speaking, British people do pursue personal achievement and keep a very strong spirit of competitiveness.
If you are watching this, it's nearly the end of the show. Thank you for watching!
Well, it's not the end. Before the end of this video, we hope that we can help you learn more about other cultures. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye!